What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Brendo back again with another Dynomite countdown, the best countdown series YouTube has ever seen, and I'm very excited to be here today and bring you guys a countdown I've been waiting to do for a while, but I'm glad I held off on it because yesterday my favorite TV series I've ever witnessed came back with a new season, and that is none other than Black Mirror, sci-fi thriller that is just the absolute best thing I have ever seen. The show is, if you haven't seen it, basically depicts a not too distant future and showing potential technology that we may have in that time frame and the dangers that may come with associated technology. And it's just well written, beautifully filmed, and some of the best stuff I've ever seen. So I highly recommend it if you have not seen it. But today we're going to be counting down the top 8 Black Mirror episodes of all time. Now this was the 5th season that released yesterday, so we got 4 previous seasons to have gone through here, and we're going to start the countdown off here with an episode from this newest season, season 5, and this one is called Smithereens. And this one I watched yesterday, and I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, not knowing what was going to happen. I don't want to give too many spoilers for this one because it is so new, and you may not have had a chance to watch it yet. But the premise of this one basically is somebody that is sick and tired and fed up of society's obsession with the screens and certain social apps, and basically takes things into his own hands and creates a media frenzy of his own. But the backstory of this is really showing how everybody just willingly puts all their information onto social media and puts their information online. And when there's a standoff with a gunman and the police, the social media has more information than the actual police investigation, as they are resorting to the figureheads of the company to get information about the individual. It's a great episode, very suspenseful, and a crazy surprise finish. So check it out. But that's number 8 on the countdown for the top 8 Black Mirror episodes. Smithereens. Check it out if you haven't already seen it. Moving on here to number 7 on our list is an episode from last season, season 4. It was actually filmed right here in my neck of the woods here in Hamilton and Mississauga, and actually directed by Jodie Foster. But this one is called Archangel, and this was a good one. It was in the Black Mirror universe. They have a technology where you have contact lenses basically that can be recorded what you see, and it's all recorded what you can see from your own perspective. And basically a mother wants to protect her child from seeing all the harmful things in life. She wants to have this girl live a G-rated life, so basically blacks out any type of anxiety or noise or anything that might be disruptive, we may say. But ultimately in the end, it's she has a device which tracks what her daughter is seeing and is just monitoring what her daughter is doing at all times and showing the disruptive nature of that alone and the lack of privacy. And the daughter eventually snaps and beats her mother to death with the said application and notepad too that her mom was watching her on. Very, very emotional and very great insight into like where we could be going, you know, because you never know if these things are possible or not. But anyways, I digress. Number 7, Archangel. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Now, number 6 on the list here now is also from season 5. I thought was the best episode from that season, and it's called The Black Museum, where a young lady happens to stumble across an old decrepit museum, but it's full of rare Black Mirror Easter rabbits, if you will, or Easter eggs, if you will, and just weird and technological things that had been explored in previous episodes showing up in this museum, and very emotional in the end. You find a hologram, which is not a hologram, you learn is essentially it's a hologram of this girl's father that is being displayed in an electric chair as he was a criminal and just getting electrocuted over and over again. But it's not just a hologram of her father. It's his actual soul that they have trapped and downloaded, if you will, and just torturing over and over. And in the end, she gets her justice. But a very impactful and emotional episode, and one of the best pieces of work I've ever seen. So, number 6, Black Museum. Let's continue. Number 5 comes from season 3, and this is actually the first episode that I ever saw of Black Mirror, and that is called Shut Up and Dance. And this is one of the, I forgot to mention actually that they have a lot of English episodes. There's some episodes are entirely in England, other episodes are in the States. I personally like the episodes in England better. I feel they're shot differently and just have a different feel to them. And this is one of the episodes shot in England, as all the previous ones I mentioned were all American and Canadian. So Shut Up and Dance, basically we see this young adolescent boy on his computer. He's, doing what young boys do when they're in front of their computers, but gets a message as he's in the middle of his act, and basically gets told that he's being watched, and from then is blackmailed into doing all sorts of heinous and awful things throughout the city, and encounters other people that have fallen into the same category as him, as they do such things as rob banks and all sorts, all in the name of protecting whatever they're hiding. Very impactful at the end when you find out what it actually has happened. I don't want to give it away, but yeah, Shut Up and Dance. It blew my mind the first time I saw it, and it got me hooked onto the series. So for that reason, number 5, Shut Up and Dance. Let's move on now. Number 4 was the very next episode I watched, actually, after Shut Up and Dance, from season 3, and that is White Bear. This episode had me literally, I don't think I blinked or breathed the whole time, because I didn't know what was happening. You had no idea what was going on. You basically come to be with this girl, running around the town with people just photographing her, like people do these days with their spectacles and taking out their phones to videotape and instead of help. But anyways, she's clearly in danger, but everybody you see peeping out almost like they're hunting with their cameras, and then you see that she truly is being hunted by a masked man in a truck and some other people, and it's very intense, very high pace, and keeps you got you synced in, hooked in the entire time. And in the end, this one blew my mind too. Again, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give them all away. I encourage you to go watch them. But in the end, it was just mind-blowing, and really stirs up some feelings of how you feel initially about the characters, and you feel one way, sorry for them, until in the end you don't feel sorry for them, and then really is this any type of justice at all? So White Bear, number 4 on the best Black Mirror episodes. Let's move on here now. And also from season 3, this episode actually won some awards and was the first American filmed episode on the list, and that is called San Junipero. And this episode is about two lovers. You see them engaging in different decades and different genres of music and different time frames, and what we learn is in the end that they're two old women in the future on their deathbeds, living in a simulation and falling in love in this simulation, being able to go into whatever decade or time frame that they choose to. And what's really crazy about this is really the first episode I ever saw that had a happy ending on the surface. And I'm going to give this one away because everyone should know, but had a happy ending on the surface because, yeah, the girls get to be together, but then it brings up the concept of, well, they die and they're still living in this simulation. Like, their actual consciousness is still in the simulation. And it's even mentioned throughout the episode about how the one woman that was married had kids and chose not to just die not to just die like her family did, but to go into this simulation, really making you question, like, what it's hell, or it's avoiding heaven, or however you want to look at it. It poses some interesting questions, and was a very emotional episode. Hey, it was a great one of the best ones. And yeah, number 3, San Junipero. Tell me what you think in the comments and on how I described that one. But really creepy stuff when you really dig below the surface and get into what these things are really about. So moving on here now, number 2 was actually the very first episode. No, it was not the first episode, but it's from the first season, and this one is called The National Anthem. And you talk about feeling weird or being uncomfortable watching anything, an episode of anything. This one does it, but it makes you think at the same time. And basically, the British Prime Minister blackmailed into doing a lewd act with a pig, based on the fact that one of the members of the royal family has been kidnapped. And so he has to go and perform this act on TV, on live TV, in order to have the princess be set free. So the entire country, the entire world's watching this. They let the girl go into an empty street because nobody's on the streets. They're all watching this lewd act, and it just shows the lengths the lengths that people will go to prove a point, but more so than that, how powerful the power of TV and media is, to the point where you could just let someone out that's the most sought after hostage in the country right out into an empty street because everybody else is watching TV. Very powerful, very impactful stuff, and viewer discretion advised, definitely, if you have not seen that one. So number 2, National Anthem, which brings us down to, and mind you, this isn't all in my opinion because I've seen every episode multiple times, but this brings us down to the number 1 Black Mirror episode of all time. And it was a hard list to make because every episode is great. Every single episode is great, and these are just happen to be my favorite ones because they made me feel either really happy or really weird or disgusted or sad or just question things. It's such a powerful show. But the number 1 episode is from season 2, I believe, White Christmas. And this one was a long episode, but it was a very, very layered, deep episode, as they touch on a technology existing where, again, you can see what's going on through the eyes of somebody else as it's being streamed to your computer. And basically, a man was helping people get dates, being behind the scenes, being in the air, seeing their eyes, and a murder occurs. So things get heavy, but basically it focuses on multiple technologies. Also, there's another technology where they download your consciousness and put it into, I guess, a similar thing to like your home speaker. What the fuck's it called? Siri or fucking... the hell are they called? I don't have this shit, so I don't know. I try not to use all this shit, but basically takes your personality and puts it into a technological form, a little egg or whatever, and it's your actual consciousness in there. And White Christmas is just layered so deeply, and by the end of it, the criminal is set free, but basically because he has these implants in his eyes, it's just been locked out of society. So all he sees are just blurred out versions of people everywhere he looks. You can see the sky and the atmosphere and things, but you can't see people because everyone's been blocked out of his line of vision, as he has been blocked out of their line of vision, just completely redded out. And it's just so impactful to think how it would have to be to live like that, and just where this Charlie Booker, the writer of the show, comes up with all these concepts. And I hope to hell that this is not the direction that we are going. Because, it's better to get out and live life. Don't stay on your phones all the time. I'm saying this as making a YouTube video, but I mean, you gotta keep it real, people. And I'm just trying to keep it 100 with you. So, it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna get away from this camera. I'm gonna put my phone away actually for today. But you guys, drop a like. Tell your mama, tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your people. Like and subscribe, and I'm gonna meet you back next time with another Dynamite Countdown. So, it's your boy Brendo, signing off. Check out Black Mirror, every episode again, even if you already have done. And I hope they bring out another season. And this time when you do, put more episodes, because we need more than 3 episodes at a time, people. Come on. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.